Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Very special day as each and every one of us celebrates our dear mother who had such tremendous impacts on our lives. So much love, so much dedication, selflessness. Selflessness taught us what it really means to give your life for someone else. Those of you who have mothers should hopefully get to celebrate with them and cherish every moment. And for those of us whose mothers have passed, I know how hard this day could be, but think about all the love your mother is showering you up from above and all the special memories you have. This past Shabbos and Shul, we read a very interesting law among the 51 laws that we learn in this week's portion, and it's the law of Arla. Arla is the law if you plant a new tree, a fruit tree. The first 3 years, the Torah tells us you're not allowed to eat the fruit. The fourth year, you would take the fruit and you would bring it to Jerusalem. And on the fifth year, and in Jerusalem, you would eat it and enjoy it. And on the fifth year, you would have all the fruit for yourself wherever you lived. And there's many different reasons the rabbis give why it happened. One of the reasons they give is because tradition tells us when Adam and Eve were born and they were brought into the Garden of Eden, God just told them they shouldn't eat the fruit of the tree for 3 hours. 3 hours, and they couldn't contain themselves. And because of those 3 hours, we show restraint for the first 3 years of the fruit. And it's really to tell us that to nurture ourselves and to hold our temptations from just giving into every desire and everything we want and thinking about actually the things that we need. In any case, but there's an interesting law that the rabbis tell us. And they say that what happens if you take a tree that's already been growing fruit, that's a full-grown tree, and you move it, you transplant it from one area to another area. Do you have to wait 3 years till you could eat the fruit? Or are the fruit that you eat considered already part of an old tree? So right when you replant it, the first year it grows again, you can have the fruit. And the rabbis tell us something interesting. They say that if you moved the tree from one place to another place, and you took the selah, which represents the nutrition, the hardened earth around the tree that gave it its nutrition and all the vital needs to help the tree grow, then it's not considered a new tree because you took everything with it, all the hardened earth around it, and therefore it might have moved geographically, but it's the same old tree, and therefore you can immediately eat the fruit. But if you took the tree without the earth around it, so then you're finding new earth to get new nutritions, so therefore you have to wait 3 years again to eat the tree. But what's the metaphor? You see, everything has an esoteric, deeper spiritual meaning to it. Every human being, the Torah tells us, is compared to a tree. When we nurture our trees, who nurtures us the most? Our mother and father, but especially our mother. When we nurture our tree, even if we transplant from one place to another, but we take that earth that gives us the vitality, on a spiritual level, that means the Torah, the mitzvahs, the values we lived with, our faith in God, our kindness to another, our belief in the Torah. So even if we uprooted from Russia, from Ukraine, and we came to America, or we came from America to Israel, or vice versa, wherever we go, and we continue that tree, but we don't forsake that nutrition, that earth, and that vitality that our parents gave us, then it's the same old strong tree. But if we forget that which is so important to us, and that which allowed us to survive for thousands of years, then it's like a new tree without that vitality that we need. Today, as we celebrate our mothers, it behooves us to take those important lessons that our parents gave us, the values, the spirituality, the Yiddishkeit, and no matter where we go, to take it with us and make sure that we nurture our children the same way. There's a very famous anecdote about President Herzog, the first President Herzog, that when he went to London to lobby for Israel in the 1940s, and he was speaking to one of the people on the Peel Commission, and they asked him, I don't understand, why are you lobbying for Israel? There's so much hate, there's so much violence. What do you have to be there? Go to another land, find another place. In fact, it was a big suggestion that Israel should move to Uganda. But why do you need Israel? And President Herzog looks at him and says, tell me, just last week was Mother's Day. Do you have a mother? He said, yes. He said, did you go visit her? He said, absolutely. In fact, I went during the day to visit her. I had to cross through London. It took me 2 hours. There was so much traffic. And President Herzog looks at him and says, I don't understand. Why do you have to travel 2 hours to see your mother? There's so many mothers on the same block that you live. Why didn't you just go to them? And he looks at him with shock and says, what do you mean? Because that's my mother. And President Herzog smiles and looks back and says, well, that's our motherland. And that's why we need it. Every one of us should cherish the mother we have. The one that gave us life and gave birth to us and taught us those values. Just like the earth and the sap that gives nutrition to a tree, so to our parents instilled within us, our mothers, faith and love and connection to God and to the Jewish people and to Israel. Have a great day.